When WWE allegedly leaks that 3 specific stars won't win titles at Saturday night's main event, you're either witnessing insider information that spoils the show, or you're being worked harder than a Kevin Owens promo. But here's the plot twist nobody saw coming. The show already happened, and instead of leaked predictions, what we actually have is a post-mortem breakdown of 3 stars who got absolutely buried at SNME XLI, while everyone else was celebrating championship changes and career-defining moments. Buckle up, because we're about to dissect how Triple H's creative direction managed to elevate some stars while simultaneously burying others 6 feet under. Saturday night's Main Event XLI was supposed to be a showcase of WWE's best talent delivering memorable moments that would be talked about for weeks. And to be fair, some parts of the show absolutely delivered on that promise. CM Punk capturing the World Heavyweight Championship was a massive moment that had fans losing their minds. Jade Cargill's dominant victory over Tiffany Stratton to become the new women's champion created instant buzz and crowned a star who'd been building momentum for months. These were the highlights everyone's social media feeds were flooded with. But here's the thing about wrestling shows. For every winner celebrating with champagne and confetti, there's someone in the back icing their bruised ego and wondering what they did to deserve getting buried in front of millions of viewers. Saturday night's main event had its share of these casualties. Stars who deserved better booking, stronger presentations, or at minimum not being completely demolished in ways that killed their momentum faster than a Nia Jax botch. Let's break down the 3 biggest victims of questionable creative decisions. Starting at number 3, we have Tiffany Stratton, whose long and honestly impressive reign as WWE Women's Champion came to an abrupt end when Jade Cargill pinned her clean at SNME XLI. Now, title changes happen, that's wrestling, and nobody expected Tiffany to hold that championship forever. But the way this match was booked and executed left a lot to be desired if you care about protecting the credibility of your champion even in defeat. Tiffany had months of solid title defenses under her belt and had been getting strong crowd reactions that proved she was connecting with audiences as champion. She wasn't just keeping the seat warm, she was actually doing good work with the position. So when Jade Cargill defeated her, the expectation was that it would be competitive, that Stratton would go down fighting and look strong even in loss, maintaining her credibility for whatever comes next in her career. Instead, what we got was Jade Cargill absolutely dominating Tiffany throughout the entire match. It wasn't competitive, it wasn't back and forth, it was basically a squash match dressed up as a championship bout. Now, there's context here that matters. Tiffany had been working injured and needed time off television to recover, so having her lose the title made practical sense. But the execution of that loss completely buried her momentum and made her entire championship reign look weak in retrospect. When your champion gets dominated like that, it sends a message that they were never really championship material in the first place, that they were just keeping the belt warm for the real star to come along and take it. That does nobody any favors. It doesn't help Jade because beating someone who looked weak doesn't elevate you, and it absolutely kills Tiffany's credibility moving forward when she returns from injury. This loss didn't just end her title reign, it completely buried her, which is terrible booking for someone who should be a cornerstone of the women's division for years to come. Moving to number 2, we have Rusev, who found himself in a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship against Penta and defending champion Dominic Mysterio. Triple threat matches are supposed to be the great equalizer where anyone can win, because you don't even have to be pinned to lose your championship. It's chaos, it's unpredictable, and it's the perfect environment for a shocking title change or a statement-making performance. Rusev has been presented as a dominant force on the Red brand for quite some time now. He's got the look, the intensity, and the crowd support to be positioned as a serious threat to any champion. Going into this match, there was legitimate buzz that Rusev might finally capture singles gold in WWE and cement his status as a main event player. The setup was perfect, the stage was set, and all WWE had to do was pull the trigger. Instead, they decided to have Dominic Mysterio retain the championship, which on its own isn't necessarily a burial. Sometimes the heel champion retains in chicken shit fashion and it works for the story. But the way Rusev was booked in this match completely wasted the momentum he had built. He didn't look like a dominant force. He didn't get a strong showing that would make fans demand a rematch. He just looked like another guy in the match who came up short. WWE had done significant work building Rusev's character and momentum over the preceding weeks, and they threw all of that away in one match with questionable booking decisions. When you spend weeks or months building someone up, only to have them lose in a way that makes them look weak, You've wasted all that investment and you're essentially starting over from scratch. That's what happened to Rusev at Saturday night's main event. And it's a textbook example of how not to book someone you're supposedly trying to push. But the biggest loser of the entire night, the star who got buried harder than anyone else on the show, was former WWE champion Drew McIntyre. The Scottish Warrior challenged Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship in what should have been his moment to finally capture the title he's been chasing for what feels like forever. Drew has been one of WWE's most consistent performers, someone who always delivers in big matches and has the credibility to be world champion at any time. Unfortunately, Drew McIntyre has been losing momentum week after week for months now, and Saturday night's main event didn't help that situation at all. He's been stuck in this perpetual cycle of challenging for championships, looking strong in defeat, but never actually winning the big one when it matters. That's fine for building sympathy and creating an underdog story if you eventually pay it off with a championship victory. But when you just keep doing it over and over without payoff, it stops being compelling storytelling and starts being repetitive burial. Drew and Cody battled hard at Saturday night's main event, delivering the kind of quality main event match that both men are capable of producing in their sleep. But with Cody retaining yet again, fans were left disappointed and frustrated. This isn't a knock on Cody, who's been an excellent champion, but there comes a point where having the same guy lose title matches repeatedly starts to damage his credibility as a main event threat. Drew McIntyre has reached that point, and WWE continuing to book him this way is burning whatever goodwill and momentum he has left. The star deserves a massive push in WWE. Everyone agrees on this, including apparently everyone except the people making booking decisions. Drew has all the tools, the look, the talent, the promo ability, the in-ring work, everything you need to be a top champion. But the company refuses to pull the trigger on him, instead using him as the reliable hand who makes other champions look good in defeat. That's a valuable role, but when it's the only role someone gets, it becomes a burial by attrition. What's frustrating about all three of these situations is that they were completely avoidable with better booking decisions. Tiffany Stratton could have lost the championship while still looking strong and competitive. Rusev could have been protected in the triple threat and set up for a singles title shot down the line. Drew McIntyre could have finally captured the championship, or at minimum been given a storyline reason for coming up short that advances his character rather than just spinning wheels. Saturday night's main event XLI had massive moments that will be remembered for the right reasons, but it also had these three examples of stars getting buried through questionable creative decisions that undermine months of character work and momentum building. Triple H's creative direction has been praised extensively since taking over from Vince McMahon, but nights like this show that problems still exist in how certain talents are presented and protected. The wrestling world is now left wondering what comes next for Tiffany Stratton, Rusev, and Drew McIntyre. Can they recover from these losses and rebuild their momentum? Or have they been damaged beyond repair by booking that prioritized other stars at their expense? Time will tell, but one thing's certain. Saturday night's main event was a tale of two shows, incredible highs for some and devastating lows for others. If you want in-depth analysis of every WWE show breaking down not just who won and lost, but why those decisions matter for long-term storytelling, subscribe to the Wrestling Hidden Insight, where we post multiple videos daily. Smash that like button if you're frustrated by WWE's tendency to build stars up, only to bury them at crucial moments. Drop a comment sharing which of these three burials bothered you most, or predicting how WWE can salvage these characters moving forward. And remember, leaked predictions are fun, but post-show analysis is where you actually learn what worked and what absolutely didn't. Now go forth, keep supporting your favorites even when booking fails them, and we'll catch you in the next video.